Lucy of Lucy Williamson Nutrition and founder of the Gut Project, and I'm really happy that you've joined me in my kitchen. And my journey from vet to registered nutritionist has been my absolute inspiration behind reconnecting our health right back to real food. What do we mean by real food? We mean unprocessed or minimally processed food. It still looks very similar to how it did when it left the farm, and really nutrient rich from healthy soils. And it's very similar with our own health, our own gut health, and that's an area I specialise in as a nutritionist. Our billions of bacteria living in our large intestine help us to really unlock nutrients from our food and really to benefit our overall wellness. So I'm all about helping people to understand where you source your food from, how it's grown, how healthy are the soils that it's grown in, how that then affects our own health through our gut health. So I'm just going to share a few tips with you today, but just to start off with, what do we mean by gut health? So in all of us, we have billions of bacteria, microbes, different bacteria and yeasts that are really beneficial to us living inside us in our large intestine. And these actually benefit our health in many different ways. Bacteria were actually long on the earth long before we were. We've evolved together, humans and bacteria. We need them just as much as they need us. And when we feed them food, so the food that we choose to eat, when we feed them food that nurtures them, they then go on to produce products for us which are really beneficial in our long-term health. So a great example is this lovely lunch bowl that I've put together here, which is British quinoa, lots of lovely seasonal vegetables, brightly coloured because they're packed with antioxidants and lots of other lovely nutrient plants, and especially full of fibre, as are these oat cakes that I've made as well. And what happens when we eat fibre is that our bacteria actually digest that fibre for us. It's a type of carbohydrate that we can't actually digest ourselves, so we rely on our gut bacteria to digest that fibre. They ferment it, they produce all sorts of wonderful products which have many benefits to our health, things like anti-inflammatories. One of the products they produce is called butyrate, which is a really important compound for our digestive health, making sure we've not got too much inflammation going on there. But also in general, our gut bacteria actually really help to optimize our immune system, because much of our immune system actually sits in the wall of our gut, just waiting to react. And by making sure our immune system is optimized, it ensures that we haven't got too much inflammation going on in our bodies. And inflammation is at the root of many diseases that we're struggling with these days, like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, types of cancers, stroke. So really important to nurture our gut health to protect our long-term health from some of these other issues. And also, of course, just fabulous for our mood. Our gut bacteria produce a compound that we require to make our happiness hormone, serotonin. So really important to nurture our gut health to make sure that our mood can be as balanced as possible. And so some of the foods that I would love to share with you, certainly fibre-rich foods in seasonal vegetables and grains, like I've put in this lunch bowl here. Pulses like chickpeas and British Carlin peas, you may not know about, grown through a fabulous company called Hobmedod's in Essex, and you can order all sorts of British grown grains and pulses directly from them, all grown on farms that are really farming with nature. And that's another important part of what I teach on my gut health course, is to remember that as humans we are part of nature. The choices we make with the food that we feed ourselves, if we're choosing food that comes from farms where they are increasing biodiversity, they're farming for nature, the soil is healthy, that really increases the nutrients in the food, and that nutrient-rich food is so good for our own health. So it's really the whole gut health is so much more than just eating fibre and fermented food. It's about thinking where your food comes from as well. So fermented food, one of my favourites is Willie's raw apple cider vinegar from the family orchard in Herefordshire. And what happens when we eat fermented foods, which are actually just natural probiotics, so a fantastic way to get probiotics just from food. Fermented foods have all sorts of beneficial bacteria and yeasts in them, exactly the type that we need to boost our own numbers of gut bacteria. But as well as that, while they're fermenting, in this case the natural sugars in the apples, they're producing those beneficial compounds that I've mentioned. And in the case of apple cider vinegar, those bacteria produce acetate. And acetate is really important in our health, particularly again as an anti-inflammatory. It also keeps our cholesterol levels steady. It helps us to understand when our appetite is full, and so can really help in weight control as well. So I've actually made a vinaigrette today by mixing together some apple cider vinegar, some cold pressed rapeseed oil, and some of our lovely local honey, given it a good shake, and I've dressed this lunch bowl with that today. So another great way to get healthy, gut healthy food in your diet every day. So on the gut health course, I work with another fabulous nutritionist, Georgie, and a wonderful chef from Peterlee Manor Farm in Buckinghamshire, who Katie, she has just designed all sorts of gut healthy recipes for us. And every week on the gut health course, which runs for 6 weeks, just an hour a week, but every week there's lots of downloadable content as well. Some of Katie's wonderful recipes, which she demonstrates to you as well. And one of those demonstrations is a sourdough masterclass. Sourdough, just a fantastically healthy food. Literally just flour, water and a little bit of salt, no preservatives, no added other nutrients that we require, because it's all within the healthy whole flours in the sourdough, and very slowly fermented natural yeasts, rather than adding all sorts of industrialized yeasts, which can be really problematic for our health. So we go through all of these on the gut health course. And then because I work with farmers and food producers where they are farming using nature positive systems, I connect you to all these producers on the course, and I've chatted to them and recorded podcasts with them, and it's all there for you to listen to as well. So I really hope you'll think about joining me in January for my next gut health course, all part of the Gut Project, where we're trying to reconnect you right back to, or reconnect your health right back to real food from healthy soils. And of course, it's not just about the food. We talk about de-stressing, about keeping on the move, and sleeping. So important that we get enough rest and sleep, and breathing well. All these things so wonderful for our gut health. And lastly, just to say, we also have the wonderful Dr. Sally Bell on our gut health course for a session, who is a lifestyle GP medical doctor who takes us through in much more detail the enormous impact that stress has on our health and our gut health, and things that we can do to help it. So I really hope that you'll join us, and I look forward to seeing you.